3, 2, 1.
Got a blast!
What's going on, my people? How is everybody doing and how is everybody feeling? And today, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you an incredible Devin Booker build, my people. This is going to give you all the animations. The build overall, to me, is one of my favorites that I've made because I just love everything about the build, from the being able to make crazy layups, dunking, shooting. You got great physicals. You get all Devin Booker animations. All right, you can literally use all his animations with this build. So we're gonna get right into it. So we already know Devin Booker, first, last name, right hand, jersey number 1. We're making this build at point guard. All right, so this is one of the things I love, is that we're gonna go 6'6" on the height. All right, and then we're gonna go 206 on the weight. Then we're gonna drop this wingspan just to 6'8". All right, so first things first, for those of you that know, I love starting with physicals first. So we're gonna go with a 60 on the vertical, my people. All right, that's gonna be really good. So 60 was to make sure that we can get his animation. So what I'm gonna do here, just so we can showcase what we will be able to get for Devin Booker, I just want to make sure. Oh wait, not that. Okay, 1 second. Let me just put Booker, just like that. Go with the last name. Alright, so cool. So now, as you can see, right, we have this in terms of what we want to look for. So when we go back, it's still going to be Devin Booker. Alright, so we got 60 vertical. This is, we need at least a 60 to get his dunk package. Okay, so that's going to be very important. I went 67 because I wanted silver strong handle and I wanted silver physical finisher. Those are some good badges to get. We're going 80 on our agility, my people. Yes, that's going to be really good as well. And then we're going to go 80 speed. So I always like to balance out with the physicals. At least I try to at least go 80 or 80 or more, depending on the build that I'm making. Then we're gonna go 52 on the offensive rebound. We ain't really worried about reboundings with this D-book build, but you know, we'll still be able to do a little something. So now we're gonna go 75 on the perimeter defense, because Devin Booker had a 75 perimeter defense when I checked the rosters. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to go back to doing the rosters. I kind of want to, you know, get just right into making the builds again. But if y'all like the rosters, that's cool. But you see, a lot of times my builds be slightly different than what y'all see on the screen. So just let me know what y'all would like, you know what I mean, and what y'all would be cool with. Alright, so we're only gonna go 75, but like cap breakers, we can put cap breakers to our perimeter defense, so we're not gonna worry about that, and we're not gonna worry about our steal either. We're gonna just drop this to 42. Alright, now in terms of the pass act, I wasn't gonna go high pass accuracy, but because his actual, what do you call it, his passing style requires a 93. So I said, you know what, I want to get that passing style just to have it equipped. So I went 93. 93 gives you so much amazing badges, so you're not really losing out on a lot. I think having 93 is going to absolutely be fantastic. I love this build. I would make this build and grind it, but I need a little bit more defense with my point guard builds, right? But in terms of so far, just the physicals, that 93 pass act, that is beautiful to me. When I checked the rosters, Devin Booker had a 93 pass act, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna just go 86 for right now. I can always, I said pass act, sorry, he had a 92 ball handle. I said, you know what, I could always go back and, you know, add cap breakers and get a 92 if I really need that. But I think 86 is probably the wave right now. A lot of people's going crazy with that. You know, I could always just max +1 the unpluckable to gold and, you know, be perfectly fine with that. I was gonna stop at 75 speed with ball, but I realized that for a lot of his dribble animations, you need at least an 80 speed with ball. So I said, you know what, I want to definitely make sure I get an 80 speed with ball as well. Now this is where, to me, the build kind of went crazy, because he had a 97 midi, but to me, I think all you would need on a build like this is 93. 93 is perfect. Max +1 set shot specialist to legend, or you could go get your Deadeye shifty shooter all on legend as well with the max +2. I think you're perfectly fine. And then he had an 80 3-point shot, so I said, you know what, that's perfectly fine as well. And we also get the sharp shooting takeover ability, so that's gonna be dope with having an 83-point shot. Mid free throw, I always feel like a 75 to 80 is perfect. I don't think that you need anything higher than that. All right, now the beautiful thing about this build is not only the shooting and the ball handle and the playmaking, but the finishing ability will be fantastic. So we get 93. I was trying to find his driving layup animation. I don't even know if it's in the game. I think that might be something that you have to maybe wait for the next season or something, but for some reason I couldn't seem to find Devin Booker's layup. Maybe I'm tripping or I did something wrong, but 93 layup is going to be dope. And we're going to go 75 on the driving dunk, my people. All right, and then the post control is going to be fantastic. We're going to go all the way up to an 85 on a post control. You see all the badges you get. I will go legend, post, fade, phenom, max +1 it. Why not? Can't go wrong with that. Let's drop this. Can we get more rebound? We'll go 55 rebound. All right, so this is the build, my people, right? As you can see, the build is looking amazing from a point guard standpoint build. Obviously, if you want to be more meta, you would need more steal, obviously, right? But like I said, cap breakers is going to play a factor with this build. But 75 is not bad. You'll be able to stay in front of your defender. Of course, you'll maybe struggle against the other players. But, you know, this build overall is crazy. So, like I said, we're building this build to make sure that we get all Devin Booker's animation. So look at this. First off, the build just look how many 93s. We have 3 categories in 93: pass, act, mid-range, and layup. That is insane. All right, so the requirements to get his jump shot was at least an 86 and an 86 3-point shot, and you had to be under 6'10", so we got that. His free throw animation, we also get that, but he's got to be 6'6". All of his things that require his shooting is 86 or more. So you see we have everything unlocked on the screen right here. So we're going to be hooping just like Devin Booker with all of it. And his all you need is a 70 for his motion style, right? In terms of his dunk, you need a 75 driving dunk and a 60 vert. We have a 75 and a 60 vert. We're perfectly fine, so we get that. Playmaking, right? This is going to be dope. So like I said, a 93 for his pass style, we got that. We need at least an 80 speed with ball for his dribble style, which we're going to get. And then you see we need 85 ball handle and at least be under 6'6". So we get all of his SIGs and all of that good stuff. That's going to be dope for old Devin Booker. So this is the complete Devin Booker build. And like I said, I did not see his layup, which was kind of weird to me. I don't know why we weren't able to get his layup for some reason. As you can see, the category for layup is not even here. So I don't know if I did something wrong, or maybe we have to wait until a different season. But that's the only thing we don't get is his layup, and he has one of the best layups to me. Alright, so this is the build. But not only do we get all his animations, but we get the #1 shades of Devin Booker. To me, this is one of the best point guards, in my honest opinion, that I've made. The only thing that this says that's a weakness is not as good on to steal the ball. Notice how the 75 perimeter is more than enough to get the job done. So we're not going to be able to get the steals, but with cap breakers, we can definitely go crazy. So look at that. It's all of those A's, stops and pops. That's definitely Devin Booker. Breaks defenders with slick vision. Definitely Devin Booker. Smooth touch on finishes, moves, leave defenders lost. You gotta love it. I think this is one of the best point guard builds that I personally have made on my channel. I might even have to make this. I'm not even gonna lie. I really like this build, and you got post game too. I like this build a lot, so I might think about making this as a point guard build and grinding it out. Alright, so let's go check out the cap breakers and see what we got going on here. Let's do it. Alright, my people, so we are in the cap breaker screen. As you can see, man, this build is insane. Just from all of the big movers, from the steal to the perimeter defense, You see the block has a big movers as well with the cap breakers. The defensive rebound has big movers in the standing dunk, dropping. There's so many things to look at and what you can do, right? Me personally, right? So Devin Booker had like a 97, 96 mid-range. I don't think, me personally, I would go any higher. So I personally wouldn't put any cap breakers towards shooting. I think shooting is perfectly fine where it's at, in my opinion. If you make this build and you want to put more shooting, you can do that. I personally don't think I would even put more on my driving dunk or even layup. I think where it's at is perfectly fine, in my opinion. If you want more ball handle, you can go all the way up to that in the 90s. So you could get the 91 ball handle, but to me it's a waste because you're not going to get unpluckable and gold. So I think this is perfectly fine because you get all animations for Devin Booker. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you need anything more than that. I would definitely, the question is what to specialize in. Maybe you do specialize in shooting. I think that would be the most smartest thing, in my opinion. Shooting might be the best specialization, and then you can increase your shooting in due time. But for me, the regular cap breaks, like you see, I only have 5 right now. I don't really be grinding on 2K26 as much as I should. But in terms of the big moves, right? So we have a 45 still. And that's what I will be putting my first cap breakers, because I want to make this Devin Booker build more incredible. So for me, we can go all the way up to a 78 still. Okay, so now that changes the dynamic. It said that we're not going to get steals on the weakness, but we can now put a 78 on our steal. That's just one attribute shot from getting silver glove. So that's something that you can do. Or let me see, maybe I could probably just be okay with just getting interceptor. Okay, so if we just use 2 cap breakers, right, we'll get the 62, which gives us the silver interceptor. That might even be better. Maybe we don't even need to go any higher on the steal. Or if we go 3 cap breakers, then we can get 68, and that will give us glove and interceptor on bronze, which we can max +1 and 2 that to silver or gold. You know, that's something that you can definitely go with. Or actually, this might be the best one. So in my opinion, I think going at least 73 still, which would be 4 cap breakers. So if you want to go 73 still, I think that would be the best, and you can still save on those cap breakers. That's what I would probably do. Increase this by 4 for the 73 still. I think that would be nice to have, because me personally, the on-ball steals is not the best, but that's something that I would do. We have options in terms of our perimeter defense. We can go all the way to 85. So let's say you don't care about steal. If you put 5 cap breakers here, you can literally get an 85 perimeter defense and just focus on perimeter defense and not worried about steals, which I wouldn't blame you. I think that would be a good idea. But everything else is looking amazing, right? Let's just go over one more category. So let's say if you wanted more rebound, right? So we have a 55 offensive rebound. If we wanted more rebound, we could literally get a 72, which is not bad, right? We have a 40 defensive. At the moment, we could literally get, let me see, added all of these up, and then a 76. I mean, I wouldn't really care too much about rebound. I think the focus is really putting those cap breakers towards the defense so we could be a more solid defender. Once you do that, the build to me is perfect. Like, the build is absolutely insane if you ask me, man. You can't go wrong with this build. This is a solid point guard build. Put your cap breakers, your first few cap breakers towards your defense, and you're set. So let's go over this again. So look, 4 cap breakers here, right? We'll give you the 73, and then you can save up and put 5 for 85, and you'll be perfectly fine, all right? So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this Devin Booker build. Till next time, much love.